Azerbaijan, land of fire.
For centuries, natural flames have leapt from burning gas vents throughout this land. Fire is the symbol of the country, and Baku to the east and the shores of the Caspian Sea is the capital. Its heartbeat is the vibrant old city. Scholars believe the earliest written evidence of Baku dates back to the 1st century AD. Sieges and battles have raged around these walls since then. Baku's history reflects the changing cultures and architectural styles here at the crossroads between Asia and Europe.
Baku is a very, very interesting city because we call it, Azerbaijani people call it the city of contrasts. Why the city of contrast? Because of these new constructions and old places, made in tower, and then this palace with minaret. And then you can see behind of it these 3 huge constructions, new ones, which are the symbol of modern Baku.
The country's century-old carpet-making industry is celebrated in a stunning new museum as a traditional craft and culture meets futuristic design, which reflects the story of this developing city.
For tourists, it's very interesting. So in one city, they can see different periods of time, different cultures. In order to observe these cultures, they had to move to Spain, to Arab countries, to some, I don't know, to Central Asia. But in one city, they can see all these cultures, all these architectures.
Within the walls of the Old City, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is what is to date the world's only private museum of its kind. Visitors can view over 5,000 published books in miniature, collected from 64 countries, many by authors from across the globe.
Miniature books is an art form, and the smaller the book, the greater the artistic value.
The Old City overlooks the Caspian Sea. All is not well in these waters. The sturgeon fish and country's world-famous wild caviar are under threat.
And here on the Kur River, which flows into the Caspian Sea, is one example of how Azerbaijan is preparing to protect its industry of caviar and take it into tomorrow's world with a special and unique ecological farm for sturgeon.
It is one of the oldest families of fish in existence. Its caviar eggs, renowned and sought after for centuries at tables across the world. But the clock is ticking.
Sturgeon fish is on the verge of extinction. No more wild caviar if we don't do something about it now.
Under strict ecological conditions, there is a breeding program in place. Each stage of development of every fish is closely monitored. After 5 years, they are released into the fresh water.
Caviar fish is such a fish like salmon, for example. From whichever river they enter the sea, when they have caviar, they return to the same river to lay eggs.
It will be the next generation of fish which are being released into these waters, which it's hoped will return to the same area with their wild caviar. It is a long process. Building a sustainable future for the sturgeon of the Caspian Sea will take years. We've been served some wild caviar here, but with it being so rare and so expensive and the sturgeon under threat, it's not something that you eat lightly. But let's have a flavour of this wild caviar. It really is quite an exquisite taste. And it's hoped that taste, with this initiative in Baku, will now be more readily available to generations in the future in Azerbaijan. Next time from the land of fire, we hear the words and wisdom of a 12th century poet, Nizami from Ganja. That's on the next Azeri Life.